Hello and welcome to the channel. This video is, I think it's going to be a one take of me walking around in the garden, showing off some trees, maybe talking a bit about the future of this channel and what we're going to do with all my trees, our ambitions of buying a house and stuff. I think I'll just go around my trees and do one by one, talk about what I want to achieve with them and what the future brings and what work I'm gonna do next upon the tree and when, if I see fit. And what I would like to start with is my seed tray, which I'm very excited about. It turned out even greater than I could imagine. So here it is. And here you see I've got a lot of Japanese maples, which is cuttings. They are not from seed, so it's also a cuttings tray. And both I want to make a lot of bonsai trees of these because firstly I really appreciate Japanese maples. I think they're so cool, and these leaves are just made out for bonsai. And I think it's funny to have had the trees from the beginning of their life instead of always buying gardening center material. It's fun to start from the beginning, but I really feel blessed about being able to do that, because if I was old, my father always says it's harder to start from seed because you don't have that much time. Not that it is possible when you're in your mid 70s, but still I have more time to turn these trees into something. Of course you can make it bonsai quick, but it all depends on your ability and that stuff. And my father and I, especially me, we are just still learning. The species I have the most of in here is Wisterias, and again I want to plant some on the territory that I want to buy when we get a house at some point. I want to make a botanical garden, but only for trees. It's only going to be trees, and I want to make it so that there's not a lot of maintenance, like weeding and all sorts of stuff. Like I think trees are easier in that regard. So of course the first few years of their life you want to water them and make sure they are surviving, but after some years, when the roots have established into the ground, they are good to go, in my opinion. And I also have some, and then again there's a lot of species in here that I don't know a lot about. And here is, I don't remember what they're called. Some call them redwoods, but they are nuts. But I picked up some seeds from the botanical gardens of Lucca here in Italy, a bit more south. And again, here's a species I don't know what is. Very big leaves. It's interesting to see if I can turn it into a bonsai. And here I have some lemon trees, which I think they're lemon trees. I definitely put some lemon seeds right here after eating a lemon. And obviously I need to dig them out before spring because they are not frost hardy, so I need to get these out. And there's some trees in here which I need to dig out before the frost comes because they're not frost hardy. And here you got it's called a kapok tree. It's from Africa originally, I think. Not frost hardy either. It's a cutting from my kapok tree. And you've got oak trees as well, which is some I've picked up around here in the area and just stuck it in the seed tray, and they have survived. Obviously some of them also died, but most of them survived. And you have your temple tree right here, Ginkgo biloba, but I don't know if these cuttings will survive, but they look fine. And you've got the forsythia right here. They are always very vigorous. And this one I don't even know what is, so that's going to be exciting to see. They grow very slowly. They've been here in the seed tray since spring, so I don't know, and they're tiny still. But yeah, some of these are going into the ground. I'm also gonna make a little growing nursery in the ground when we get a house. We just actually made an offer on a house we're gonna hope to renovate. We've completely fallen in love with the place. It is dangerous, I know, but you can feel it when you see a property you really like, and I really hope they accept our offer. I think it's a big house with some small ruins around. I think we're gonna make a tiny house to live in, and then we can start on the big bed and breakfast project. But this is my seed tray, which is gonna be a lot of work. I'm gonna repot a lot of it in the spring, and also probably in the autumn, because I want to get the plants out that are not frost hardy. I'm sorry. And this is my large forest, which I repotted this spring. It's very good looking, and apart from the leader of this forest, it's in pretty bad shape at the taper, but there is some buds I think will survive, or then I just have to re-establish it, which is fine. There has not been so many videos as the one group with 3 trees in. It's because I'm making a time-lapse video of the full growing season from spring, from when the buds sprung out and till the leaves are gonna drop. So it's gonna be a while before this comes out. But I'm really fond of this group. I know there's 8 trees in it, and in the spring I'll probably remove one of these trees, one of these 2, because the rule is that it has to be an uneven number, and I think 7 would be just perfect. With them randomly being put in, sort of randomly, of course nothing in bonsai is left up to chance, but sort of randomly. I have the most trees to the left here and a few here, so they are actually randomly placed. And I put some sphagnum moss on top of the soil, so that the soil doesn't wash off when there's these big showers which we get in the mountains. And this one is actually interesting. If you've seen the first video, this is supposed to resemble a tree that's fallen over and then start growing upwards with one of the, I don't know if you see the taper, but I'll probably remove this sphagnum moss in the spring, so you can see the actual nebadis of the trees. It's going to be more excellent looking, and in the spring I would guess that the roots have settled in the ground, so the soil is going to stay in the place, so I don't have to have this on, so you can actually see the beautiful nebadis of this tree. Very happy about this group, and I love learning with the group. Sorry, I was slipping there. I really love my life currently. I'm sorry for being such a buffoon saying that, but I really appreciate being able to work on my trees this much. On to the next one is my crabapple tree, which I've worked on a bunch of times in videos, in further videos. I think I'm going to do one little prune here in the before it drops leaves, so that it just is ready. And again, as I said in the video, I don't know what to do with this branch. I actually really want to cut it off because it's too close to the ground, but I'm afraid much of the leftover bark here, that is the actual tree, is gonna die from that. So I don't know if I want to cut it. Maybe make a true trunk tree, because you can't use it as I don't feel like I can use it as a branch when it's this close to the ground. So yeah, we'll see what I do. I have to make that decision, but I think I'll postpone it till next year. And it keeps on sprouting out here from my first branch. Just break these off and hope they stop one day, because it's getting kind of annoying. But it's got the nice S shape going, and I'm excited to see what it brings in the future. You've got my olive tree, which is not really a bonsai, it's too lanky and tall. The issue here is that I don't know what's gotten into it. I think it got, when we were on vacation, there was too much moist on the leaves, and then they started to rot. But every time I scratch in the bark, it comes out green, so it's still alive. I hope it comes back to life at some point. Yeah, we'll see. And this one is not really a bonsai tree. I don't know what it is. I just found it on eBay and I really liked it. Some kind of a desert plant. If somebody could help me out, I'd appreciate it, because I don't know what it is. But maybe I'll turn it into a bonsai, some sort of a desert plant. And this is probably my favorite tree. It's my European plum. Unfortunately not the flowering kind, but I just love this nebadi. It's very beautiful, and I've sort of started to have a good branch structure on this tree. I want, like the European crabapple, I need one more prune before spring, before autumn, before they drop leaves, and I want to wire the new leader here a bit better so it has a little more interesting bend here. You see the wire is already ready for that, but I need to do it soon before it gets too hot and hard to bend. Yes, so really starting to look like something, but I need this branch to be thicker than the one above. And I think I said it in an early video that these two branches, they look a lot alike, so I want to bend them in each way of their own so they don't look so similar, or I have to cut one off. We'll see what I decide to do in the future. And yeah, this is just a little seedling that I dug up from one of my friends' house. She has a lot of these Japanese maples, so I just asked her if I could take all the seedlings, which I could. And here you have the, I don't remember what they're called in English. I think also it's called a Texas, which is me trying to make a root over rock bonsai. It's not been growing very much, but I hope it's just settling into the pot this year, and next year will be a lot more growth because I just repotted it in the spring like a lot of my other trees. This is my little ficus shohin, I think you'd call it when it's so tiny. Need a little quick prune when I get around to it. This is actually the back. Let me show you the front of the tree. Here you go. Out of this dead wood, you probably need to get it some gin. Well, I don't know what you call it. Some gin stuff, so it turns white and doesn't rot. And I've just recently established a new taper here, right next to the dead part. And this branch I tried to wire. Doesn't have too much character. It's very straight, so I need to figure something out here to make it more interesting. And behind it I've got my ginkgo, which is also featured in some videos. I think I'll prune it before going into autumn to like get the branches and get the buds closer to the taper working. But I'm happy with the branch structure, and the thickness of the branches are pretty good. I left these two tips on. I didn't prune these because I want them to be thickest, and pruned this one and the taper. And I think these are starting to look thicker, which is good. And this one is a baobab tree, which I'm very excited for it to get big growth this year. It's very tall, and you've got the characteristic split leaves here, which means it's very healthy and getting bigger and older. And it really thickened this summer. I'm very excited to see what it brings. There's a little spider there, which are the ones chasing down their prey, not making spider webs. They're very cool. Sorry for the distraction, but I want to do with these baobab trees. See, it's crawling up. I want to do with these baobab trees. I want to bend down the branches so that it resembles the savanna and very old baobab trees, which are kind of have the flat crown. But I'll just let this one grow for now because you want them very chunky and fat. And these are also just seedlings from my friend's house. I had to put them on this bench because off the ground because what do you call them? Not a frog, a toad kept digging out the soil. I had a little nemesis for a period of time, but when I put it, he doesn't go up here, or she doesn't go up here, so I don't. So I had to put these two up here, so they're not dug out. And this is the kapok tree, which I made the seedlings from in the seed tray. Just cut and prune with this one. It's very vigorous. It's quite cool looking as the trunk are thickening, and the pot is very nice for it. It's a tiny pot. And here's another baobab tree, which apart from the other one I actually did some wiring on. I flattened some branches here, so hopefully next year I'll cut this very lanky one, which is just for growing the trunk. It's getting very thick. These are only 2 years old, I think. It's very cool. They grow very fast, but I do apologize. In time they will be even cooler. That is all about patience. And here is my tuya. which is frustrating. As I've said many times in videos about it, I can't really get it to back butt, and I feel like the branches just get more and more lengthy. I don't know really what to do, but I'll probably have a go at it before autumn again. I'll probably just make it into a literati style and start it from up here, because I can't get this branch to grow. It looks completely asymmetric. This is just practically a green dead branch. I don't know, I've been trying for 2 years to get it to grow, and I'm about to give in and let it be a literati style. But the trunk is not thick or anything, but we'll see what I do. I just gotta decide what to do. Very healthy, but quite uninteresting right now. And this is the other large group of 3 that came out of the big one I repotted in the spring, and this is turning really nice. I think the ramification on the branches are starting to look like something. I'm very happy about this tree, and it's the same as the other one. In the spring I'll remove the sphagnum moss here, protecting it from rain, and you'll see hopefully some very cool nibades on these as well. I really like the bend down here. Even though it's a very straight tree, it has a cool bend close to the ground, which I really appreciate. I look forward to showing you guys once spring comes around. And here you've got some Japanese maple cuttings. Cool as always. I like to have as many as possible. Maybe I'll start a little nursery at our new house at some point. We'll see. A lot of dreams. You gotta dream, right? This is also what the channel is all about. Here I got my oldest seedlings, which I think I planted in the year 2020. They have started to have some very cool trunks, and they're about a finger's thickness, but I really need to repot them in the spring so they don't get pot bound, and I think already the roots are spinning around on the ground. And some more Japanese maples, it's cuttings, so I need to repot these. And here you've got my fig tree, which I actually ironically brought from Denmark. There's a lot of figs down here in Italy, but I really love this tree. Not that it's very good, nicely established at the table, but it's all about the nebari on this one. Look at this old wood, it looks so cool. I've given this side some gin, what do you call it? Some gin fluent. I'm sorry, I can't find the word in my brain. And I hope this one starts to look like it once it rots a bit more and gives in. So the nebari is beautiful here, but it's one for the future. Like a lot of my trees, I've not been doing this for very long. And up here we've got another baobab tree, same principle, but this one for some reason hasn't been growing that fast as the other ones, but it's getting there, and it hasn't had any wiring. Maybe I'll just do some clip and grow here. We'll see. And here's my little thyme. No, I haven't done a video on it, but it's quite cool. Found it in a dumpster, and there's a little grasshopper on it right now. Cool. Love being close to nature, apart from the big city. I might do a video on it at some point. It's actually has a cool trunk, sort of a savanna style. This one is hanging down. It's pretty cool. Next one here is, sorry for being in the shade, I don't know if it's possible to see it. It is. This is actually from my most popular video about the azaleas. It's all the cuttings. I think I have like 10 cuttings in there surviving, and I split it into 3 trees. One unfortunately died. I think it was my toad friend again who dug it out, but one of them died. Unfortunately it was the second largest one, second thickest, but the main one survived and has a nice thick trunk. This one has, I think, orange flowers. It's very cool, and these pointy azalea leaves, so it's going to be exciting to repot this one after flowering next year. I think I'll do it. We'll see. That's when I had the success with it, but I didn't know they were so easy to make cuttings from. Now I'll have plenty. It's gonna be cool. Oh, and I forgot, when I was at the seed trade, to say that what I want to do with the wisterias, it's one of my friends down here, she has this awesome idea of turning them into trees, like support them for a lot of years until the trunk can support itself, and then let the wisteria stand as an actual tree. I want to do our drive-in to the house with these along the way. I think it would look very cool. So that's also one thing I want to do with all my wisteria seedlings. It's gonna take a while, but it's exciting when I made them myself. Here's some more Azalea cuttings. These have red flowers. I'll show you the main tree later. Yeah. And next one, here's another Azalea. My azaleas for some reason are flowering double this year. So this one has pink flowers and is in pretty poor health, so I'll need to repot this one in a bigger one with actual azalea soil, which is not in this one when I repotted it, so it's gonna be good for the tree, and then put it in a small pot in a year again when it's healthy and I have the correct soil for it. And some more Japanese maple cuttings. Don't know if they'll survive, they are quite thick. And some more seedlings of Japanese maples. I really love this kind of tree. Might S-shape some of them so that they have a cool looking trunk before they get too thick and hard to rewire. And this is the ficus I recently repotted and put it into a very shallow pot. I think it looks brilliant, but I think it has to establish again, find itself before it's gonna grow well again. But it's only a week ago, so. And that video is doing fine, very good, and I really appreciate you guys watching. Really did the tree well with this nice shallow pot. And some more seedlings right there. This is a root from my European crabapple here, which broke off when I repotted it, and I just threw it into a pot. It almost died while we were in Denmark because it didn't get any water, but I managed to save it. This is the old root, and this is the growth from it. It's exciting to see what I can do with this in the future. This one obviously needs to be cut off, as it's too close to the ground. This is a ficus, which was originally a group. I did a video where I tried to make, what do you call it? I don't remember. But where you put branches on the other species of branches onto the trunk. But 3 of them died, and this one didn't have success. It just got its old growth back. But it's a root over rock, this one, and I'll just do it with one tree now, I think, and leave the original foliage on. I'm pretty done with the, I don't remember what you call it. I am so sorry for not being able to find the words. I'll write it in a video so you'll know. This is a little 3-trunk large tree, which I'm 3. I already had 5 plants together, but 2 of them died, so now it's only 3. I hope they'll grow together and I can make a cool solid tree. I love experimenting and stuff, so that's what I did here as well. And this is a walnut tree. It has very big leaves. Maybe I'll just put it in the ground as a tree and not make a bonsai, or we'll see. Because there's actually a couple of walnut trees on the property that we just put a bin in on. So I already got those, so maybe I'll force myself to make it into a bonsai, but it's got very big leaves. I don't know if it's good at bonsai, but we'll see. And right here is a ficus again, a cutting I made from that tree that I just did a repotting video on. And this one I'm trying to do a savanna tree like the baobabs, like with a flat crown and sort of that. I might put it in a cool little pot soon. I think they are very quick to grow, so they are pretty exciting to work with because you can really see results of your wiring and your pruning very quickly because they are very vigorous. Funny little tree. I'll see what it's exciting to see what it brings for the future. And next tree is my potentilla, where the taper died. I'll have to make a new one soon. Maybe I can do it next year, but this one died. It's not so good. Yeah, the watering system, I think some of the branches didn't get enough light, so they died, and also the taper that's what happens. But I hope to restore it and improve my watering system for next time we go home, and I hope next season it's going to be a better year for this tree. I really thought I had a great soon bonsai tree here, but that was just a major setback. We'll see what I can turn it into next season, but that's also part of bonsai. And this is my other Potentilla cinquefoil here, and that's doing better now. I was more excited for this one earlier, but now I'm more excited for this one because this is actually, and they both have the wrong angles. This would be like this, and I just recently did a video bending down this branch. You can find it on the channel, and that's quite exciting. I'm excited to see what this one brings, and I'm excited to do some more work on it. It's a pretty cool tree in my opinion, and I love these yellow flowers. We'll see. This is my Japanese apricot, which is also a big challenge for me. I bought it as a seed from eBay, 10 seeds, and this is the only one that survived. I don't think it's a flowering one, but still okay and cool because it has these red patterns on the edges in the spring. It's a very cool species, but doesn't do well with wiring, but very vigorous. We'll see what happens. I tried to wire this one up as a new taper, but didn't go too well. And every time I cut it, the scar never is quite good looking. So really a challenge, but I love challenges. So I hope I'll get good enough so I can actually make a proper tree out of this one. Yeah. And this one is my first Japanese maple ever. Feels like I've tried to do air layerings on it a million times, keeps going wrong. This one is the latest edition. I hope it survives, and I really need to start over. I think I'll just put it in the garden once I get one, when we get a house, because there's too much inverse taper going on. I don't think I'll manage to save it, and I keep on making cuttings and air layerings and failing. So frustrating tree, but in great health apparently. This is here behind me. We've got the beech forest, which I picked up all these small beech trees to make this beech forest up the mountain on where we live. It's well above 800 meters above sea level, and the leaves are very yellow down here, and I think it's simply too hot in this altitude. Although I am in 500 meters, maybe next year I'll try to make a lot of shade for them so they don't stand in the sun all day. Maybe that'll help, but I think it's too hot for beech trees here. And this one is one of my absolute favorites. This is a big Mediterranean cypress, I'm sorry. It's very cool. It likes to bud back, and I got it from a marina in Massa, the city Massa along the coast. They were rearranging their marina, and I did a video on it. One of my first my actual first bonsai video on this channel was this tree, and it's got a magnificent trunk, and I'm amazed it actually survived because it was just pulled out of the ground by a crane. But very excited, and I don't know if anybody knows, I don't know what the right amount of time is before you actually work on a tree after it's been dug up Yamadori style. I hope to, in the spring, bring it to Mauro Stemberger, which is one of the best, in my opinion, one of the best bonsai artists here in Italy, and I want to do his intensive course in the spring, and I think I want to bring this one. Then it's been in a pot for 1.5 years, and I think it's ready for work. I would really appreciate his perspective on it, and I am still a beginner with a big B, because as you can see on my trees, I don't really have any exhibition ready trees, but it's a very exciting tree, I think. For some reason my camera cut out while filming this one in particular, but yeah, I was just about to finish about this tree. And now it's not going to be a one take, this video, but I was just about to say, very exciting tree. I look forward to actually doing some work, but there's no point in doing work before you actually know if the tree has survived, which it has now. I'm very certain it's very vigorous and in very good health. So next tree is our little group or seedling tray or what you want to call it. This is jade trees, which I made. This is all cuttings which I made from one of my friend's jade trees, which was in poor health. I repotted it for him and now it's doing very well. Excited to try these. This is supposed to be one of the best beginner species because it's very easy to work with and responds very well to wiring, pruning and everything, and buds back everywhere, as you can actually see on the tree. Yeah, so exciting to work with that. And this is 3 azaleas in the same pot, but they're actually from the same gardening center tree, but I just split them up and put them in here to further grow the trunks and the health of the trees. I actually found these in a dumpster and I split them and put them in here and they survived. So 3 trees. What's not to like about that? I need to do some pruning so you can actually see the trunk. You've got a lot of shoots coming out of it, but very exciting. And it's the second time they flower this year. I don't know what's going on with my azaleas down here. Beautiful pink flowers. And the next one is also an azalea. This one just has red flowers and it snapped during a very terrible storm we had here recently. So I have to start making a new table, which is also possible. You gotta deal the cards, you gotta play with the cards you dealt, so that's also part of it. And I have this big branch on the back that I need to cut off, but I don't want to have so many scars, so I want the ones I have now to heal before I do that. I've got 2 big ones here and here. This one is healed very nicely, so soon I'll cut off this big back branch, which I don't need. And here is a maple with very big leaves. Sorry, this little cat is very friendly and she wants to play all the time. But this is a maple with very big leaves. Unfortunately, yeah, I dug it up in the beginning of my bonsai interest, not knowing how big the leaves was going to be, but this is not the perfect species for bonsai because the leaves are so big. But I did some leaf pruning here, or cutting, or what you call it, in the spring, and it actually started producing small leaves, but I'll keep on trying to see if I can force it to have smaller leaves. And yeah, that's it. There's also gonna be some videos on this one. It has a pretty cool S shape, and again, you can't really see it properly because of the sphagnum moss. Later I'll take it off once it's really established. And this is my forsythia, which I did a tough bunch of work on, but it seems like it's fine. It has had a lot of inverse taper, so I needed some work. I'll repot it in the spring as well. It's gonna be exciting to see what it brings. And here you got my 5-trunk tree stump, or what you'd call it, with 3 different species. 2 trident maples and 2 hornbeams, and then 1 sort of a birch tree. I don't know which kind it is. Yeah, we'll see what it is. It's very unconventional way of doing bonsai, but I just like to try stuff and see what it brings me. And here you got another big leafed maple, another species with maple with a little bit more pointy leaves. I'm gonna try to make it broom style here and see what this one brings. Yeah, it's not the best kind of species to make bonsai from, but I'll try anyways. Stop it, you ruined my pants. Tomatoes, I think that's about it. I hope you enjoyed this little gardening tour. There's my watering system and all my trees. Yeah, this channel will really explode on content and trees once I get my own place where I can actually plant trees in the ground and do whatever I like with the place, with the property. So, and I'll have much more room. Right now I think our garden is only, I'd say 75 square meters or something, so not a lot of room, but good thing is bonsai doesn't necessarily take up that much space because they are in small pots. Thanks for watching. I just wanted to give you a look into my garden before autumn, and thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy my content sometimes, at least. And if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. It would help me a lot on my dreams and our journey here in Italy. Thanks for watching.